Imagine what your life could look like if you dedicated just 1 hour every day to improving yourself. Not a huge time commitment, but a focused, purposeful hour that you protect and use wisely. This simple choice can lead to big changes, better habits, clearer goals, stronger mindset, and more energy. The truth is, you don't need to overhaul your whole life at once. Small daily steps add up to real progress over time. In this video, you'll discover practical ways to make that hour count. You'll learn how to take control of your mornings, calm your mind, and focus your energy on what matters most. You'll find out how to build habits that stick, face challenges with courage, and connect with people who help you grow. Each step is designed to be simple but powerful enough to transform how you live. You don't have to wait for the right moment or have special skills to start. The tools and ideas shared here are for anyone willing to take action and commit to steady improvement. There will be no jargon or complicated theories, just clear, honest advice that you can apply immediately. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck and start moving forward, this video is for you. By dedicating 1 hour a day to yourself, you're making a choice to grow, to build resilience, and to shape your future on your own terms. Stay with me and discover how that 1 hour can truly change your life. Chapter 1. Start waking up early and take control today. Waking up early is not about being a morning person, it's about making a choice. A choice to stop letting life pass you by and to start showing up for yourself before the world demands your attention. The moment you decide to rise before most people do, you begin to reclaim time that's been slipping through your hands for years. You stop waking up late, rushing into your day, and constantly playing catch-up. Instead, you become the one who leads, who sets the tone, and who begins the day with intention, not reaction. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. starting tomorrow. All you need is one decision, one step toward discipline, one act of self-respect. When you wake up early, you prove to yourself that your comfort is not your highest goal. You prove that your life matters enough to meet it with clarity, stillness, and presence. That 1 quiet hour early in the morning before the noise starts, before emails and phones and problems demand your time, that hour belongs only to you. And what you choose to do with that hour will determine how the rest of your life unfolds. If your days often feel chaotic, stressful, and unproductive, it's not because you're lazy, it's because your time is not yours. You wake up just in time to meet your obligations. You rush into the day unprepared, and you never feel like you're ahead. The truth is, most people live their lives reacting to everything. They react to messages, to people, to tasks, to moods, and they wonder why they feel stuck. But waking up early puts you in a different category. It places you among the few who live with intention, the few who design their lives rather than just endure them. When you rise early, you give yourself a gift most people never give themselves: time without pressure, time to think, time to plan, time to breathe. In that hour there is space, and in that space you can finally begin to hear your own thoughts. You can ask yourself questions that matter. What do I want to change? What do I want to build? What do I need to let go of? These questions don't come to you when you're rushing. They come when you create stillness. And stillness is what the early hours provide. Many people say they don't have time to work on themselves. They want to read, journal, reflect, exercise, meditate, but the day gets away from them. But the problem isn't the lack of time. The problem is that their time is always given away first, to work, to screens, to stress. The first hour of your day is the most powerful. If you give that hour to yourself, everything else becomes easier. If you give it away, everything becomes harder. When you start your day in control, you stay in control. When you start in chaos, the whole day slips away. It doesn't need to be dramatic. Start by waking up just 15 minutes earlier than you do now. Use those 15 minutes for you. Not for checking your phone, not for scrolling, not for replying to messages. Use them to sit in silence, to breathe, to reflect, to remind yourself that you are here for a reason, that you have the right to own your time, that you are not just someone who reacts to life, but someone who creates it. Discipline is built in moments like these, not when everything is easy, but when you choose to rise despite the comfort of sleep. Each time you do that, you build mental strength. You remind yourself that you are not ruled by comfort, you are ruled by purpose. And purpose does not wait for the perfect time. Purpose moves when it's tired. Purpose shows up when it doesn't feel like it. Purpose gets up early. It's not about making your mornings perfect. It's about giving yourself a head start. A head start in clarity, in peace, in momentum. Because when you start strong, you carry that strength with you. You'll notice your mind is calmer. You'll feel more grounded. You'll stop rushing. You'll start choosing. And the more you do this, the more it becomes who you are. The kind of person who doesn't wait to be told what to do. The kind of person who leads themselves. The early hours hold a different kind of energy. They are quiet. The world has not yet woken up. And in that silence, your thoughts are clearer. Your intentions are stronger. You are free from noise, from pressure, from distraction. This is the hour where transformation begins. This is the hour where you remember who you are, not who the world tells you to be. And once you've experienced that, it becomes something you never want to lose. There will be days when you don't feel like getting up. Days when the bed is warm and the world feels heavy. But those are the days when getting up matters most. Because the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be consistent. If you show up for yourself often enough, you'll begin to feel different. You'll walk differently, speak differently, think differently, because your identity starts to shift. You're no longer someone who waits. You're someone who moves. You're someone who honors their time. People often underestimate how much can change in just 1 hour. They think it's too small. They think it won't make a difference. But 1 hour a day over 1 year is 30. That's over 2 weeks of uninterrupted time. Imagine what you could build with that. Imagine the progress you could make, the strength you could gain, the clarity you could find, the person you could become. Most people never give themselves that chance, but you can. And it starts with waking up early. When you rise early, you are making a promise to yourself. A promise that your life is worth showing up for. A promise that you will no longer be a victim of time, but the owner of it. A promise that you are ready to grow, not someday, today, and every day after that. That promise is powerful, because when you start to trust yourself, you stop waiting for others to change your life. You become the change. You don't need motivation. You need a reason that means something to you. Maybe it's your health, your peace, your purpose, your family, your future. Hold on to that reason. Write it down. Read it every morning. And when the alarm rings and your body says no, let that reason speak louder. Let it pull you out of bed. Let it remind you that change is never easy, but it's always worth it. If you fall back into old habits, don't beat yourself up. Start again. Reset the next day. Progress is not about perfection, it's about direction. Keep pointing yourself forward. Keep waking up for your life, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because resilience is built when you keep going without applause, when no one sees your effort but you. That's when character is built. That's when discipline is born. You'll start to notice how differently your days feel when you take ownership of your mornings. You won't dread the day ahead. You'll meet it with calm, with strength, with clarity. You'll stop feeling behind. You'll stop reacting, and you'll start leading. Your energy will rise, your thoughts will sharpen, your decisions will improve. Why? Because you started with intention, and intention changes everything. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They own their mornings, They don't leave the first hour of their day to chance. They use it to build, to grow, to reflect, to prepare. You can do the same. You don't need to be rich, famous, or special. You just need to care enough about your life to show up for it. 1 hour a day. That's all it takes. Build a morning routine that fits your life. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's walking. Maybe it's stretching, praying, planning, reading, or sitting in silence. It doesn't matter what you do. What matters is that you choose to do it every single day, no matter what. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's only 20 minutes. Show up anyway, because every time you do, you are taking back your power. You are not your past. You are not your habits. You are not your excuses. You are the choices you make, and the choice to rise early is one of the most powerful choices you can make. Not because it's easy, but because it's proof that you are serious about changing your life. And change only begins when you decide that staying the same is no longer good enough. There is no shortcut. There is no secret. There is only this moment, this one decision, to wake up, to rise, to take that first step. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. And once you do that, once you start owning your morning, everything else begins to shift. Your thoughts, your actions, your habits, your future. It all starts with one quiet hour, one daily promise, one bold step forward. Wake up early. Take control. Start today. Chapter 2. Build a quiet morning routine that clears your mind. When the world is still quiet and the noise of the day has not yet arrived, you have a chance to start over. What you do in the first moments of your morning has more impact on your life than almost anything else. This is not just about waking up early, but about what you do with that quiet space. A morning routine isn't just a checklist. It's a discipline, a personal system for clarity, and a commitment to protect your mental space before anything outside of you can influence it. Most people wake up and immediately hand over their attention to the outside world. Their first thought belongs to their phone, their inbox, their deadlines. Without knowing it, they lose ownership of their own mind before the day has even started. This is exactly what you must avoid if you want to lead your life instead of being pulled through it. A quiet morning routine gives you space to reconnect with your priorities before anyone else's demands enter the picture. The moment you wake up, your mind is open and sensitive. It's looking for direction. If you don't give it purpose, something else will. So you must begin your day with clarity, not confusion, stillness, not stress. The quality of your morning determines the energy you carry into every decision, every interaction, every response. And if you start scattered, you will stay scattered. A good morning routine does not need to be complex. It just needs to be intentional. It needs to be built for one person, you. The goal is not productivity for productivity's sake. The goal is presence. The goal is to return to yourself before the world starts asking you to be everything else. It could be as simple as sitting in silence for a few minutes. It could be drinking a glass of water with focus. It could be writing down 3 thoughts you woke up with. What matters is that you are doing it with awareness. You are giving your attention to something that calms and grounds you. That's how the mind becomes clear. If your mornings begin in a rush, your nervous system is already activated before the sun is fully up. Your thoughts are ahead of your actions. You're trying to catch up before you've even begun. This is how anxiety builds. Not because something is wrong, but because you've created a pattern of chaos that repeats itself every morning. To break that pattern, you must slow things down deliberately and gently. When you begin with quiet, you give your body and mind a signal of safety. You are not at war with the day, you are welcoming it. Silence is not a void, it is a reset. In silence, you can hear your own thinking without distraction. You can feel your emotions without judgment. You can remember who you are and what matters to you. This is especially important if your life feels full of noise. If people are always calling, asking, demanding, needing, if your work pulls you in every direction, you must create boundaries, and the first boundary of the day must be internal. This is your time. It is not selfish to protect it. It is necessary. Start by creating a space for your routine. It doesn't need to be a separate room, just a clean surface, a chair by the window, a mat on the floor, somewhere you go only for yourself. When you arrive in this space, your mind begins to associate it with peace, with order, with clarity. That physical cue helps reinforce the habit. Then decide what to do in that space. Keep it simple. 1 or 2 practices, not a long list. The point is not to make it complicated. It's to make it sustainable. You might start with a short breathing exercise. 5 minutes of quiet breathing, eyes closed, attention on your inhale and exhale. You are not trying to control your thoughts. You are just creating space between your thoughts and your actions. This space is where control begins. This is where you stop reacting and start choosing. You could add journaling, not essays, just a few lines. How do I feel this morning? What is one thing I want to do well today? What is something I need to release? Writing helps you externalize thoughts that are otherwise trapped in your head. Once they are out, your mind is lighter. You can think more clearly, and you have a record of your growth. Day by day, thought by thought. You may choose to stretch or move your body gently. Not exercise, just motion. To remind yourself that you are alive, that your body is not just a tool but a part of your awareness. Movement brings you into the present. It softens the stiffness you carry from sleep, and it wakes you up in a deeper way than coffee ever could. You could also read, not scroll, not skim, but read 1 page of something meaningful, something that feeds your mind instead of draining it. Choose words that speak to your values, words that challenge or support your thinking. 1 page a day becomes a book, and 1 idea can change your life. Whatever you choose, make it yours. Don't follow trends. Don't copy someone else's perfect routine. You are not here to perform for anyone. You are here to build a life that feels steady and strong from the inside out. And it starts with this routine. Not just for productivity, but for peace, for presence, for power over your own state of mind. You will notice as you repeat this practice daily that your thoughts become more organized. Your emotional reactions become less sharp. Your decision-making becomes quicker. Not because you're trying harder, but because you are no longer starting your day in a cloud. You are clearing your mind before the world has a chance to clutter it. And as this clarity grows, it begins to spread into the rest of your day. You start responding to problems more calmly. You begin speaking with more patience. You notice your own patterns sooner. You begin to shift how you live, not by force but by alignment. Because when your day starts with peace, you are less likely to chase chaos. You are more likely to seek what supports your values, not what distracts you from them. There will be days when your mind feels full, even in the quiet. When you sit down and your thoughts are loud and fast, that is not failure. That is the work. The purpose of your routine is not to feel perfect. It is to meet yourself exactly as you are and still show up with care. Keep sitting, keep breathing, keep writing, because consistency builds trust, and when you trust your process begins to work. You don't need hours. You don't need silence all day. You just need enough space at the start to remember that your mind belongs to you, that your time is valuable, that your attention is something you direct, not something that gets pulled. You are building a foundation, 1 morning at a time, and soon, and foundation becomes strength. This is not about being impressive. It's about being present, The world will pull you in every direction if you let it. But when you start your day from a place of calm, from a place of internal control, you remember that you are not here to react to everything. You are here to choose, and that ability to choose what to think, what to focus on, what to ignore is what sets you free. Your quiet morning routine is a gift. It is not a task. It is not a performance. It is a reminder that in a noisy world, you still have power over your own experience. Use that power, use it wisely, and use it daily. 1 hour of quiet, one steady habit, one clear mind. That is how change begins. Chapter 3. Write your thoughts daily to sharpen your focus. Most people carry hundreds of thoughts in their minds every day, and most of those thoughts are unspoken, unorganized, and unexamined. They come and go quickly, often triggered by something small and random. Left unmanaged, they crowd the mind, blur priorities, and create confusion. Writing your thoughts down is not about being a writer, it's about learning to see what's really happening inside your mind. When you write, you slow everything down. You create distance between yourself and your thoughts. That space makes clarity possible. Without writing, your thoughts overlap. They run into each other. They repeat in circles. But with writing, you separate them, organize them, and understand them. One clear thought written down can stop hours of mental noise. When your mind is full, it's hard to concentrate. You try to focus, but your thoughts pull you in 5 directions. This is not a character flaw. It's the result of a mind that hasn't been emptied. You can't expect to focus when everything is tangled inside. Writing is how you untangle. It helps you see which thoughts matter, which are distractions, which are lies, and which are truths you've been avoiding. Once you can see them, you can deal with them. But if you keep everything inside, nothing ever feels fully processed. Daily writing isn't about recording every event in your life. It's about being honest with yourself for a few minutes every day. You can write what's bothering you, what you're afraid of, what you hope for, or what you regret. There are no rules, no format, no need to write well. The purpose is clarity. Writing forces you to finish your sentences, and finishing a sentence forces you to finish a thought. That process alone brings your mind into focus. It gives shape to what felt formless. Some days your writing will be messy. Other days it will be sharp. Sometimes it will be emotional, other times distant. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep showing up, because over time you'll begin to notice patterns in your thinking. You'll see what keeps returning. You'll start to recognize which thoughts are helpful and which ones always make you feel worse. This awareness is what allows you to change. You cannot change what you do not see. Writing makes it visible. Focus is not just about avoiding distractions. It's about knowing what matters right now. When your thoughts are scattered, everything feels urgent. Writing helps you sort urgency from importance. It helps you choose your direction instead of reacting to whatever feels loudest. If you start each day by writing your thoughts, even for 10 minutes, you begin the day with more control. You decide where your mind will go instead of letting it be pulled by habit or stress. Some people resist writing because they think it has to be perfect. That belief destroys progress. Your writing is not meant to impress anyone. It's not even meant to be read later. It's meant to clear your head. If you're angry, write it. If you're confused, write it. If you're grateful, write it. The act of writing brings you into the present moment. It connects your hand to your mind. It slows everything down to a pace you can manage. When you sit with a blank page, you meet your mind without noise. You face your inner state directly. Most people avoid this because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to stay busy, and distracted. But if you want a focused life, you have to understand yourself clearly. You can't focus if you're constantly avoiding. Writing is how you face what you usually ignore. It gives you a place to release what you don't need to carry anymore. The best time to write is when you feel overwhelmed. That's the moment your mind is trying to hold too much at once. By putting your thoughts on paper, you remove them from the mental loop. You don't need to keep repeating them internally. You've captured them. They're not lost. You don't need to worry about forgetting, and in that freedom, you create more space for deep thinking and focused effort. You can also use writing to set your focus for the day. Ask yourself one simple question each morning. What do I need to do today that really matters? Then write your answer. Keep it short. Keep it honest. This simple act gives your mind a target. When you get pulled off track, come back to that sentence. That's how writing becomes a tool, not just an outlet. It helps you stay aligned with your deeper goals instead of getting lost in small tasks that don't matter. Over time, your daily writing becomes a mirror. You begin to see how your thoughts have changed. You see your progress. You see how you've handled challenges. You see which patterns you've broken and which ones still need your attention. This is growth. This is self-awareness. And it doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from thinking clearly. And clarity is earned through reflection. You don't need special tools to start. A notebook and a pen are enough, or a digital document if that's easier for you. The point is to make it consistent. Set a time and protect it. Make it part of your routine. Don't wait for motivation. Make it a habit, like brushing your teeth. The benefits build slowly but deeply. Your focus sharpens, your thinking becomes more accurate, and your decisions improve. There's a peace that comes from seeing your thoughts laid out in front of you. Even when they're painful, even when they don't make sense. The act of writing removes the pressure to hold it all in. You stop carrying everything on your back and start putting it down where you can examine it. And with that relief comes mental space. Space you can now use to focus on what truly matters to you. You will also begin to notice how much you've been holding back from yourself. Writing reveals the truth you've been too busy to notice. You see what you've been avoiding, what you've been hoping for, what you've been pretending doesn't matter. And once it's there on the page, you can't unsee it. That's when transformation begins. Not because someone told you what to do, but because you saw it for yourself clearly and fully. There is no perfect way to do this. Some days you'll write a lot, some days you'll write 2 lines. Both count. What matters is that you keep the channel open. The moment you skip a day, the noise starts to creep back in. Keep the habit alive, even when you don't feel like it. Especially then. That's when it matters most, because writing is not just about recording your thoughts. It's about training your mind to pay attention, to slow down, to be honest. In a world that moves fast and pulls your attention in every direction, writing is a way to reclaim your focus. It's a way to return to yourself, to your priorities, to your clarity. 1 page a day is enough to begin changing how you think, how you feel, and how you act. The person who writes every day becomes more thoughtful, more aware, more disciplined, not by accident, but by intention. That level of clarity builds a strong mind, and a strong mind can handle anything. Chapter 4. Read 1 life-changing book every single month. Books are not just collections of words. They are mental blueprints that can change the way you see your life, your choices, and the world around you. Every book carries a voice, a mind, a system of thought that, if read carefully, can stretch your understanding beyond what you could ever imagine on your own. When you read 1 powerful book each month, you're not just learning new things, you're shifting your internal world. You're exposing yourself to new beliefs, strategies, and experiences that you haven't lived through but can still learn from. This is one of the few ways a person can grow without relying on trial and error. It's also one of the few habits that continues to build value with age. One book every month might sound small, but it's one of the most effective forms of personal development you'll ever find. Think about it. If you read 12 meaningful books in a year, books that teach, challenge, and stretch you, you will be 12 perspectives ahead of who you were before. Most people drift through life repeating the same information to themselves. They stay locked inside the same mindset, not because they don't want to grow, but because they don't know what else is possible. Reading opens the door to that possibility. Books are not about collecting facts, they are about learning how to think. A truly valuable book doesn't just tell you what to do, it shows you how to view the world differently. It invites you into someone else's clarity, someone else's discipline, someone else's years of trial and learning, condensed into pages you can absorb in weeks. No other tool gives you that much wisdom in such a small frame. But it only works if you're intentional with your reading. You need to choose books that stretch you, not just entertain you. Books that speak to your goals, your struggles, and your values. The right book at the right time can cause a shift that no speech or course ever could. You don't need to read fast. You don't need to understand every word. You just need to stay consistent. 10 pages a day is enough. Even 5. The goal is not speed, it's depth. You're not racing to finish books, you're trying to absorb the lessons that can help you think and live better. And for that, attention is more important than pace. Some of the most important insights you'll gain won't be from finishing more books. They'll come from slowing down with one book and letting it sink into your thinking. Make reading a non-negotiable part of your month. Choose the book before the month starts. Don't leave it to chance. Make it a priority like you would a workout or a meeting. Carry it with you. Keep it within reach. When you find time, use it. A few minutes in the morning, a quiet stretch in the evening, moments during breaks, these add up. And if you treat those pages with care, they will give back to you far more than you gave them. Reading also strengthens your attention. It trains your mind to sit with one idea for longer than a few seconds. In a world of fast scrolling and constant distraction, this is a skill fewer and fewer people have. When you read with focus, you're training your mind to stay with something meaningful. You're learning how to think past the surface. This kind of mental discipline transfers into every other part of life. You become more thoughtful in conversation, more patient with problems, more grounded when faced with stress. There's also something deeply personal about the relationship between a reader and a great book. You feel like the writer is speaking directly to you. Their words begin to echo in your own thinking. You carry their phrases into your day. You start to hear their voice when you face a decision or a challenge. This is not imagination, it's how real learning works. We internalize what we pay close attention to. So if you spend time each month with a strong book, you start to absorb that mindset. You don't just learn facts, you learn how to carry yourself differently. You don't need to agree with everything you read. In fact, disagreement is part of the process. A powerful book will push your limits. It will introduce ideas that feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar. That tension is where growth happens. You'll start asking questions you've never asked before. You'll start rethinking things you assumed were permanent. This is not about collecting answers. It's about refining your ability to think for yourself. A good book doesn't tell you what to believe. It gives you a clearer lens to examine your own beliefs. If you're not sure where to start, begin with topics that matter to your future. Read about discipline. Read about mindset. Read about emotional resilience, health, leadership, purpose, relationships, philosophy. Look for authors who speak clearly and simply. Avoid books that sound impressive but say little. You want wisdom, not complexity. Books that make you feel more awake, not more confused. Books that stay with you, not because they're trendy, but because they hold something solid. Reading one book a month also builds momentum. After a few months, you'll notice your language shifting. You'll find new ways to express your thoughts. You'll make deeper connections in conversation. You'll have more to draw from when solving problems. This isn't about becoming smarter. It's about becoming more equipped. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It throws challenges at you every day. Reading gives you a mental reserve to draw strength from when you need it most. There's something quiet but powerful about the act of sitting down with a book and choosing to engage. No one is forcing you, no one is grading you. You're doing it because you value your own development. That's a kind of self-respect that few people practice. And when you build that into your identity, someone who learns, someone who grows, someone who seeks truth, you start to live at a higher level of purpose and clarity. Books are also one of the most honest teachers. They don't care how old you are, what you've done, what your background is. They don't interrupt, they don't rush you. They meet you where you are, and they challenge you to think deeper. That kind of learning is rare. Most people only learn through crisis or failure. But you can learn through wisdom if you make time for it. One book a month is a small price for a mind that is constantly sharpening. You won't remember everything you read, and that's okay. Some books will stay with you forever. Others will teach you one thing you needed at the time. The point is not to hold on to every detail. The point is to keep feeding your mind with quality input. Because the more high-quality thoughts you consume, the better your own thinking becomes. This habit does not require money or talent, it only requires consistency. If you keep going, year after year, the impact is enormous. You'll notice how rare deep thinking is. You'll start to see through shallow opinions. You'll be more careful with your own words. You'll rely less on emotion and more on reflection. You'll stop chasing every trend because you'll be grounded in something deeper. The goal is not to read to escape life, it's to read so you can live more skillfully, so you can make better choices, so you can develop a mind that can face real problems without breaking down. One powerful book each month gives you a new lens, and with each new lens, your vision gets clearer, your thinking sharper, and your actions more intentional. This is the path to becoming someone who does not live by chance, but by thought, and it starts with one book, every single month, no matter what. Chapter 5. Move your body every day and feel more alive. Your body is the vessel through which you experience every part of life. The strength of your body directly affects the strength of your mind, your energy and your ability to follow through on what matters. Movement is not something extra to fit into your day. It's not a task reserved for athletes or for people with lots of time. Daily movement is a return to your natural state. It's the act of reminding yourself that you're alive, not just existing. Without regular movement, your energy slows. Your thoughts get heavier, and your emotions become harder to regulate. One of the most effective ways to take back control of your life is to take back control of your body. You don't need a gym. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to wait for perfect weather, the right schedule, or the right mood. All you need is the willingness to move, to use your body with purpose, to stretch, to walk, to breathe more deeply, to take control of your physical energy instead of letting it be drained by long periods of stillness and passivity. A day without movement is a day where your potential is left untapped. Even a few minutes of walking, stretching, or slow, steady exercise can change how you feel, how you think, and how you respond to everything else. There's a quiet power in choosing to move every single day, especially when you don't feel like it. It's a form of self-discipline that builds your confidence in small but important ways. When you get up and move your body despite stress, fatigue, or distraction, you prove that your actions are not controlled by mood or comfort. You send a clear signal to yourself, I still have control. And that message starts to affect everything else. You become more decisive, more alert, more grounded in the present, because movement breaks the fog that mental stress creates. So many people feel disconnected from themselves, not because they're lost in thought, but because they've stopped connecting with their own body. Long hours at desks, constant screens, tight routines, all of it pulls you out of your body and into your head. When you move daily, you bring yourself back. You feel more. You notice your breathing. You recognize tension. You become aware of where you're holding stress, where you're resisting, where you're tired, and where you're strong. This awareness gives you power because it gives you choice. You can adjust. You can care for yourself. You can respond instead of ignoring. Moving your body doesn't need to be intense. It needs to be consistent. A 10-minute walk can reset your entire state. A few stretches in the morning can ease stiffness and improve how you carry yourself for the rest of the day. Simple bodyweight exercises like squats, push-ups, or planks build strength that translates into everyday life. You don't need to aim for exhaustion. You need to aim for connection. Connection with your breath, your posture, your balance, your presence. You will notice that when you move, your emotions also begin to shift. Anger softens, sadness becomes clearer, anxiety loosens its grip. It's not magic, it's biology. Your body was made to move, and when it doesn't, everything begins to tighten, not just physically, but mentally. When you sit too long, think too much, and feel too overwhelmed, movement becomes the key to unlocking that tension. You don't have to figure everything out right away. Just take a walk. Just stretch your arms. Just breathe with intention as you move. This is how you return to clarity. A daily movement practice also strengthens your ability to endure, not just physically, but mentally. When you move consistently, you start to build a sense of resilience. You know what it feels like to push through discomfort. You learn to breathe through effort. You stop seeing challenge as a threat and start seeing it as something you can handle. This transfers into every other part of life. Whether it's a hard day at work, a conflict in a relationship, or a setback in your goals, you carry yourself differently when you trust your strength. When you move every day, you also begin to sleep better. You process stress more efficiently. You digest food more easily. You become more aware of how you eat, how you rest, and how you spend your energy. Movement creates a foundation for self-care. It grounds you in your own ability to affect change, to generate energy rather than wait for it, to take action instead of remaining stuck. Most people wait to feel motivated. But motivation doesn't come first. Action does. And movement is the simplest form of action you can take. There's something deeply empowering about realizing that you don't need perfect conditions to feel better. You just need to move. You can do it anywhere. In your living room, outside, in a small space with no equipment. What matters is that you decide to do it. That you see it not as something optional, but as something essential. The same way you eat and sleep, you must move. It's not extra. It's basic. If you find yourself overwhelmed, stressed, or mentally stuck, don't try to think your way out first. Move. Even just a little. Change your position. Walk to another room. Roll your shoulders. Lift your arms. These small shifts create a chain reaction. They change your breathing. They change your heart rate. They change your focus. And when your body shifts, your thoughts follow. This is not theory. It's real, and you can prove it to yourself every day. You don't need to track your steps or compete with anyone. This is not about numbers. It's about self-respect. It's about doing something every day that brings you back to life. Movement is a form of care that doesn't require words, just presence. When you move, you're not escaping anything. You're meeting yourself. You're saying, I'm still here, and I'm still capable. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. As you build this habit, you'll start to crave the feeling that movement gives you, the lightness in your chest, the calm in your mind, the grounded feeling in your feet. These are signs that your body is waking up again, that it's no longer being ignored, that it's becoming a partner in your life, not just something you drag through the day. You'll begin to move with more intention throughout your day. You'll stand taller. You'll breathe deeper. You'll catch yourself slouching and correct it. These are small shifts, but they accumulate into something much bigger, a sense of being fully present in your own life. Movement also sharpens your awareness of time. When you move daily, you start to notice how each day feels. You become more sensitive to how much you can do, how much energy you have, how long it takes to feel better after a hard moment. This awareness teaches you to manage your energy, not just your tasks. And when you manage your energy well, you become more effective at everything you do. This habit doesn't belong to any one lifestyle. It fits into every life, no matter your schedule, your profession, your age, or your background. You can move. You can stretch in the morning. You can walk after a meal. You can pause in the middle of the day and check in with your body. Every time you do that, you are choosing vitality over stagnation, aliveness over numbness, presence over autopilot. This chapter of your life can begin with one decision: to move your body every single day, not because someone else says you should, but because you're ready to feel more connected, more clear, and more in control. You're ready to stop waiting for energy and start generating it. You're ready to return to the part of you that doesn't need permission to feel good. It just needs movement, and that movement begins. Chapter 6. Set one clear goal and chase it daily. Most people live their lives surrounded by possibilities, but never commit to a single direction. They start many things, but finish few. They dream often, but rarely take deliberate steps forward. The reason is simple: they haven't chosen one clear goal to focus on. A life without focus becomes scattered. You feel busy but unfulfilled. You make progress in different areas, but never build real momentum. The solution is not to do more. It's to commit to one meaningful goal and give it daily attention. That's how discipline becomes powerful. Not by chasing everything, but by focusing your energy in one direction. A clear goal is not just a task, it is a commitment to yourself. It represents clarity, purpose, and forward motion. When you wake up each day knowing exactly what you're working toward, your actions gain weight. Your time becomes more valuable. You stop asking, "What should I do today?" and start asking, "What will bring me closer to my goal?" This question eliminates distraction. It simplifies your choices, and that simplicity makes consistency easier. You don't need to set 100 goals. You need one that matters, one that reflects something important in your life. Maybe it's building a new skill, improving your health, saving a certain amount of money, writing a book, or building a business. The actual goal doesn't need to impress anyone. It needs to mean something to you. It should stretch you without overwhelming you. It should challenge you without breaking your spirit. And most of all, it should give you a reason to keep showing up. Chasing one clear goal daily builds trust in yourself. Every small step proves that you can follow through. Every action reinforces the belief that you are capable, and that belief becomes the foundation of long-term success. You no longer rely on bursts of motivation. You begin to rely on structure. You know what you're building. You can measure progress. You can correct your path when needed, because you're actually on a path instead of wandering around waiting for inspiration to strike. When you focus on one goal, you will face resistance. You will want to add more. You will feel the urge to shift directions. This is normal. Your mind is used to jumping. It's used to distraction. But if you give in to that pattern, you lose momentum. Every time you start over, you waste the energy it took to begin. That's why choosing one goal matters so much. It protects your effort. It allows you to go deeper instead of wider. Depth creates results. Depth builds mastery. Depth builds confidence. And depth is only possible when you commit to something long enough to break through the surface. The most important part of achieving any goal is showing up daily. Not when it's convenient. Not when you feel inspired. But every single day. Even for a few minutes. Progress compounds when it is consistent. Small actions, repeated over time, become powerful results. 1 hour a day toward your goal can change your life. That hour doesn't need to be dramatic. It just needs to be focused. If you write 1 page a day, you finish a book in a few months. If you learn 1 new skill daily, you become proficient in a year. If you improve your health with 1 good decision every day, you change your body and your energy. It's not magic, it's math. And it works if you do it. To chase your goal daily, you need a simple system. Set a clear target for the week. Break it into actions for each day. Track your progress without emotion. Don't wait to feel motivated. Use routine to replace motivation. If your goal is to get stronger, set your workouts in advance. If your goal is to grow a business, schedule your focused work block. If your goal is to learn, choose your study material ahead of time. The key is to reduce decision fatigue. Know exactly what you'll do before the day begins. That clarity saves you from hesitation, and hesitation is the enemy of progress. You must also protect your goal from noise. This means learning to say no. Every extra task, every unnecessary commitment, every distraction, these are the things that steal your progress in small pieces. People will not always understand your focus. That's okay. Your goal is not up for debate. It's your decision. It's your time. It's your life. Every yes to distraction is a no to your goal, and every no to distraction is a yes to growth. Some days, progress will be easy. Some days, it will feel like you're pushing through mud. The results won't always be visible, but the discipline must remain, because discipline is not about how you feel. It's about who you're becoming. Each time you show up for your goal, even when it's hard, you build a stronger version of yourself. You stop being someone who tries and becomes someone who finishes. That shift changes your identity. And identity is what creates lasting transformation. Measuring progress is important, but don't rely on short-term outcomes to stay motivated. Some results take time. If you only stay consistent when the results are fast, you won't finish. Your motivation must come from something deeper. Your vision, your values, your desire to grow. The satisfaction of knowing you're moving forward is more powerful than external rewards. Learn to love the process. Fall in love with the quiet work, the steady grind, the unseen effort. That's where success is born. Every goal will test you. It will expose your doubts. It will stretch your patience. But it will also reveal your strength. You will discover abilities you didn't know you had. You will find clarity through effort. You will earn a sense of direction that no one can give you. It can only be built through action, and that action starts with a choice to chase your goal daily, no matter what. You will make mistakes. You will have setbacks. You will want to quit. But if your goal matters, you will keep going. You will adjust without giving up. You will keep moving forward, one step at a time, because you understand that success is not about perfection, it's about persistence. Every single day you work toward your goal, you reduce the space between who you are and who you want to become. That space shrinks with every action, and soon you'll look back and realize you've built something real. You don't need talent to begin. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a clear goal and the discipline to work toward it every day. That decision alone will separate you from the majority of people who wait, hesitate, or quit. Decide what matters to you. Write it down, make it simple, make it specific, and then show up for it every day. If you do that, your life will change, not by accident, but by effort. And it all starts with one goal and one choice to chase it daily, no matter how you feel. Chapter 7. Reflect on your day to learn and grow. Most people end their days without ever asking what they actually lived through. They rush from task to task, from one distraction to another, only to reach the evening drained and distracted again. Then they sleep and wake up to do it all over again. But growth doesn't come from motion alone. It comes from understanding. It comes from looking at what happened, what mattered, and what could have been better. Reflection is not a soft or passive act. It is one of the most powerful habits you can build if you want to live with direction and clarity. Without reflection, experience is wasted. With it, even a simple day becomes a teacher. You don't need to spend hours doing this. Just 10 quiet minutes before bed can shift your entire relationship with time. You sit down, maybe with a notebook or just in silence, and you ask, what did I learn today? Where did I fall short? What did I do right? These questions may seem small, but they bring awareness that most people never stop to find. You begin to notice how you responded to stress. You see the choices you made that helped or hurt you. You recognize the patterns that repeat. These insights don't scream for your attention during the day, but they speak clearly when you pause to listen at night. When you reflect, you interrupt the cycle of automatic living. You stop moving on autopilot and start living deliberately. That change alone is rare. Most people don't reflect because they're afraid to see themselves clearly. They're afraid to admit what could have gone better. But the truth is, reflection is not about judgment. It's about improvement. It's about learning. And if your aim is to grow, you need to face your days with honesty, not to criticize yourself, but to understand what needs to change. Some nights, your reflection will bring up discomfort. You'll see things you said that you shouldn't have. You'll notice the moments you gave in to fear or laziness or anger. These are not signs of failure. They are invitations. They are the beginning of better decisions. When you start to observe yourself this way, you become your own teacher. You don't wait for others to point out your flaw. You see them yourself, and you take responsibility for them. That's how real maturity is built. Not from perfection, but from honesty. Other nights, your reflection will remind you that you're stronger than you think. You'll see how you stayed calm during something stressful. You'll remember the moment you chose patience over reaction. You'll notice the way you supported someone else when it wasn't easy. These quiet wins often go unnoticed unless you stop and look for them. And when you do, they build confidence. They remind you that you are making progress, even when it doesn't always feel like it. One of the best questions to ask yourself each night is, what do I want to do differently tomorrow? This keeps your focus forward. It turns your reflection into action. It gives purpose to your awareness. If you notice that your phone distracted you too much today, you can plan to put it away earlier tomorrow. If you lost your temper with someone, you can think about why and how you want to handle similar situations next time. This process is simple, but it builds momentum. Every night becomes a checkpoint. Every day becomes a lesson. You can also reflect on how your goals are progressing. Are you moving closer to the life you want? Did your actions today match your values? Did you spend time on what truly matters, or did you get pulled off track? These questions are how you stay honest with yourself. Without this practice, it's easy to drift. You wake up a year later wondering why nothing feels different. But if you reflect consistently, you stay awake. You make small adjustments that lead to big changes over time. This habit is even more powerful when paired with writing. When you write your reflections, they become real. You can see your thoughts on paper. You can track your growth. You can revisit past entries and see how your thinking has changed. You'll begin to notice progress that's easy to forget in the rush of everyday life. This record of growth becomes something you can rely on. It shows you that change is happening, even on the days when you doubt it. Reflection also helps you regulate your emotions. By naming what you felt during the day, you process it instead of carrying it into the next day. You reduce emotional buildup. You become more in tune with your inner life. This makes you calmer, more stable, more centered. You stop reacting without thinking. You stop letting your emotions make decisions for you. You begin to respond with thoughtfulness instead of impulse. This process doesn't need to be formal. You don't need a fancy journal or structured routine. You just need a quiet space and the willingness to ask yourself honest questions. Over time, this small act becomes a foundation for better living. You notice your habits before they control you. You see your progress before it's obvious. You adjust your path before you drift too far from it. That is what reflection makes possible. It is not about dwelling on the past. It is about learning from it and moving forward with more wisdom. Even if your day felt average or uneventful, there is always something to learn. Maybe you'll notice how your energy shifted throughout the day. Maybe you'll realize that certain people drain or lift you. Maybe you'll discover that you've been avoiding something important. These small realizations add up, and they only come when you take the time to notice them. Reflection also sharpens your sense of time. You become more aware of how you use your hours. You begin to value your attention more. You stop wasting so much of your life on things that don't matter, because you're constantly checking in with yourself. That check-in becomes a filter. It helps you stay aligned with what you truly care about. It reminds you that each day is a chance to live with more awareness and less regret. You won't always feel like doing this. Some nights you'll be tired. Some nights you'll think it's not necessary. But those are the nights it matters most, because discipline is built in the quiet moment. When you reflect even when it's hard, you train yourself to care about your growth more than your comfort. That mindset creates transformation. It builds character. It makes you into someone who takes responsibility for their life, not someone who waits for change to come from the outside. 1 hour a day can change your life. 10 minutes of that hour can belong to reflection. That time will give meaning to everything else. It will help you catch the lessons hidden in your mistakes. It will show you the progress hiding behind your routine. It will help you live each day with more clarity, purpose, and intention. You won't always get everything right, but if you reflect, you will always keep learning. And if you keep learning, you will keep growing. That is how real change happens. 1 day at a time, 1 honest moment at a time, 1 reflection at a time. Chapter 8. Turn off distractions and take back your time. Every day you are handed the same amount of time as anyone else. What separates those who move forward in life from those who stay stuck is not talent or luck, it's how they protect and use their time. Distractions are not just minor interruptions. They are the invisible force that slowly takes your life away from you. They take your attention, your focus, your energy, and they offer nothing valuable in return. If you don't take control of your time, someone or something else will. This is the truth most people avoid because it's easier to blame circumstances than to face your own choices. But your growth begins the moment you take full responsibility for how you spend your time each day. Distractions are everywhere. They live in your phone, your notifications, your habits, and even in your own thoughts. The world is designed to pull your attention in every direction, but your own. Companies want your clicks. Platforms want your scrolling. People want your instant replies. Every beep, every vibration, every message demands something from you. And the more you respond without thinking, the more of your life you give away without realizing it. Time doesn't disappear all at once. It slips away in 5-minute intervals, in constant multitasking, in the moments you meant to start something but didn't. To take back your time, you have to wake up to what's stealing it. Start by paying close attention to how your day unfolds. Notice what you reach for when you feel bored or stressed. Notice how often you check your phone without any real reason. Notice how long it takes to return to focus after being pulled away. Most people are not lazy. They are distracted. They want to do meaningful work. They want to focus, but their environment and habits keep them in a state of constant interruption. The first step toward freedom is awareness. Once you see where your time is leaking, you can start to patch the hole. You do not need to eliminate all distractions overnight. You need to reduce the ones that steal the most from you. Start small. Turn off notifications that don't serve you. Set your phone on silent during the hours that matter most. Close tabs that tempt you when you're trying to work. Schedule time away from screens every day. Protect your attention like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. What you pay attention to is what shapes your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. If your attention is constantly hijacked, your life will be too. Taking back your time also means learning how to say no. Not everything deserves a yes. Not every invitation is an opportunity. Not every task is urgent. You have to decide what matters most to you and let that guide your choices. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something that truly matters. If you're not intentional with your yes, you will find yourself overwhelmed, doing too much for others and too little for yourself. Time management is not just about schedules and calendars. It's about boundaries. You protect your time by being clear about what deserves it. Another powerful way to eliminate distraction is to build routines that anchor your focus. When you know what you're supposed to do and when you're supposed to do it, you reduce the number of decisions you have to make. This frees up mental energy and makes it easier to resist temptation. For example, if you have a set time every day to write, to read, to exercise, to plan, you don't have to waste energy deciding whether to do it. You just do it. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a natural part of your day. Focus grows when it's supported by structure. You also need to create an environment that helps you concentrate, clean your workspace, remove unnecessary clutter. Put your phone in another room while working. Use tools that block websites or apps during work hours if you need them. Play background sounds that help you focus, or sit in silence if that works better. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to design your surroundings in a way that supports your best work, not your worst habits. Distractions often feel harmless because they're small, but that's what makes them dangerous. One video turns into 10. One message turns into an hour of back and forth. One glance at social media pulls you into a stream of noise that leaves you mentally drained, and after a while, you forget what you were even doing. This kind of time loss doesn't just slow your progress, it robs you of mental clarity. You become foggy, impatient, anxious. Your mind loses the ability to stay with one thought for long. And slowly, without noticing, you begin to live reactively instead of intentionally. But when you take control of your time, everything changes. You begin to feel lighter. Your mind becomes clearer. You start finishing what you start. You gain more from the same hours. You stop rushing. You become more present with others because your attention isn't scattered. You begin to feel the quiet pride that comes from doing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. That feeling builds self-respect. It builds discipline, and discipline builds a life of freedom. None of this requires extreme effort. It just requires consistency. Each time you resist a distraction, you strengthen your focus. Each time you turn off a notification, you take back control. Each time you stay with a task from start to finish, you prove to yourself that you can direct your mind. These small decisions add up. Over time, they transform the way you use your days, and your days, stacked together, become your life. You will still be tempted. You will still get distracted. Sometimes, that's part of being human. But with awareness and discipline, you can reduce how often it happens. You can recover faster. You can design your day in a way that supports focus and clarity instead of noise and confusion. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay committed to improving, one choice at a time. When you finally start living without constant interruption, you will feel it. You'll notice how much more calm you are. You'll realize how much time you truly have. You'll experience the satisfaction of deep work, of real rest, of being fully engaged with what matters. That's what taking back your time really means. It means choosing to be present in your life instead of watching it slip by while you chase distractions that never give anything back. Time is not something you manage once and forget. It's something you protect daily. Every moment you defend your attention, you create space for something real to grow. Whether it's a goal, a relationship, a skill, or just peace of mind, it all depends on your ability to stay with what matters. That ability is within your reach, and it begins when you decide that your life is too important to waste. Turn off what doesn't matter. Focus on what does. The rest will follow. Chapter 9. Speak to yourself with respect and encouragement. The way you speak to yourself shapes every part of your life. It affects how you see your failures, how you respond to setbacks, how you treat others, and how you carry yourself through your hardest days. Most people are far kinder to others than they are to themselves. They extend patience, forgiveness, and compassion outward, but inward, they speak with harshness, criticism, and doubt. This quiet self-dialogue builds or breaks your confidence. It either moves you forward or holds you back. If your inner voice constantly tears you down, it becomes harder to take risks, stay focused, or believe in your ability to grow. Respecting yourself doesn't begin with achievements. It begins with how you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. Every single day, you have a choice. You can either be your own critic or your own encourager. This doesn't mean you ignore your flaws. It means you speak to your flaws with honesty and care instead of shame and punishment. You can say, "I didn't handle that well today, but I can learn from it," instead of "I'm a failure." That one shift changes everything. It keeps you moving. It helps you grow without tearing down your sense of worth. Encouragement is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about believing that even when things go wrong, you still have value and the ability to change. People often wait to feel good about themselves before they speak kindly, but it works the other way around. Kindness in your self-talk builds self-respect. It builds momentum. It builds the strength to keep going when life gets hard. Encouraging words are not just nice to hear. They are tools for survival, recovery, and progress. When life feels heavy, your inner voice becomes your lifeline. If you feed it with negativity, it will break your spirit. If you feed it with encouragement, it will carry you through. Think about the tone you use with yourself. Would you speak to someone you love the way you speak to yourself? Would you call them weak when they're struggling? Would you tell them they'll never change? Would you mock their efforts or shame their failures? If not, then why speak that way to yourself? You live with your inner voice every day. You can't escape it. So why not make it a source of strength instead of pain? Self-respect is built through language. Every time you tell yourself, "I'm trying," You honor your effort. Every time you say, "I can do better next time," you leave room for growth. These words are not soft. They are strong. They do not make you blind to your mistakes. They help you correct them without giving up. They build resilience, because when you believe in yourself, you are more likely to try again, to face challenges head-on, and to stay steady in moments of doubt. Negative self-talk often comes from old habits, from things you heard growing up, from failures that still echo, from comparisons that make you feel small. But those voices don't have to define you. You can create a new pattern. You can start replacing criticism with clarity. Instead of "I can't do this," say, "This is hard, but I'm learning." Instead of "I always mess things up," say, "I made a mistake, but I can fix it." These changes may seem small, but they change the direction of your thoughts, and that changes your behavior. You are not weak for needing support, and that includes support from yourself. In fact, the most independent and disciplined people know how to be kind to themselves. They know that shame doesn't create lasting change. Respect does. If you want to become stronger, start with your words. If you want to stay focused, start with your tone. If you want to live with peace, speak to yourself in a way that calms rather than agitates your mind. 1 hour of kindness to yourself can undo days of self-doubt. Even if the world is chaotic, you can choose to make your inner world steady. Even if others criticize you, you can choose not to join them. This doesn't mean ignoring your weaknesses. It means believing you can grow through them. It means recognizing that you have already survived a lot, and that deserves respect. It means looking in the mirror and choosing not to tear yourself apart. Daily self-encouragement is not a one-time fix. It's a practice. You won't always feel like doing it. On your worst days, you'll want to give in to harshness. But those are the days when it matters most. Speak to yourself the way a mentor would. Direct, but compassionate. Clear, but caring. Remind yourself that effort matters, that trying again matters, that being human means you'll struggle, but you can still make progress. Every kind word is a small act of healing. If you're working on a goal, your inner voice will decide how long you stick with it. If you cheer yourself on, you're more likely to keep showing up. If you beat yourself down, you'll avoid the work and delay progress. Motivation fades quickly when your mind becomes a hostile place. But when your self-talk lifts you up, even small wins feel meaningful. That creates momentum. That builds confidence. That fuels consistent effort. The truth is, no one spends more time with you than you. Not your family, not your friends, not your teachers or mentors. You are with yourself all day, every day. If you want a better life, it starts with creating a better environment inside your own head. Encourage your own growth. Respect your own journey. Be firm, but fair. Challenge yourself, but support yourself. Your inner voice should not be your biggest obstacle. It should be your strongest ally. If you find yourself stuck in negativity, pause and listen. Catch the words you're using. Question them. Would you say those words to a child trying their best? Would you say them to a friend who was hurting? Probably not. So stop saying them to yourself. Rewrite the message. You don't need to lie to yourself. You just need to speak the truth in a way that lifts, instead of crushes. That truth is simple. You are capable, and you are trying, and that effort matters. Even on days when nothing seems to go right, you still have power. You have the power to choose your next thought. You have the power to slow down and redirect your attention. You have the power to treat yourself with the kind of dignity that brings peace to your heart. That choice, repeated daily, creates a life rooted in strength, not in force, but in self-respect. You become who you talk to yourself as. If you speak like someone who is broken, you will begin to feel that way. If you speak like someone who is learning, someone who is improving, someone who deserves compassion and care, you will begin to grow into that version of yourself. That version is not found through perfection. It's built through patience, through honesty, through kindness that doesn't let you quit. Every time you speak to yourself, you are either building a stronger foundation or weakening it. Make the words count. Make them useful. Make them honest. Make them healing. Your inner voice is not fixed. It can be trained, and the more you train it to speak with respect and encouragement, the more natural it becomes. Over time, that voice becomes the one that keeps you going, the one that reminds you who you are, and the one that pulls you back when life feels too heavy to carry. Speak well, speak gently, speak with strength. Your life depends on it. Chapter 10. Take action even when your fear tells you no. Fear is a powerful force that has shaped humanity for thousands of years. It alerts us to danger, keeps us safe, and warns us when something is not right. But fear also has a dark side. It often tells us to stop before we even start. It whispers doubts that hold us back from opportunities. It freezes us in moments when progress requires courage. If you wait until fear disappears before you act, you will wait forever. The key to growth, to change, to success is learning to take action despite fear. Doing what you must even when your mind screams no. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a signal. It tells you that something important is happening, that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, that you're reaching for something new. That means you're alive. That means you're growing. The moment you feel fear is the moment you're on the edge of transformation. If you listen to fear as a stop sign, you miss the chance to become stronger. If you see fear as a guide that asks for respect but not control, you open the door to possibility. Most people believe courage is the absence of fear. It's not. Courage is moving forward in spite of fear. It's the decision to take action even when your body wants to retreat. Courage is small. It's a series of tiny choices, saying yes to the task even though you want to say no, showing up even when you want to hide, trying again even when you want to quit. These moments add up. They change your relationship with fear. They turn it from a wall into a doorway. When fear rises, it helps to acknowledge it without judgment. Recognize the feeling, but do not let it control your decisions. Tell yourself, I am afraid, but I will act anyway. This simple statement shifts your mindset. It separates your identity from your emotion. Fear is temporary. Action creates progress. You can feel scared and still move forward. This is the essence of mastery over yourself. Often fear builds because your mind imagines worst-case scenarios. You picture failure, rejection, humiliation, loss. But most fears never come true or are not as bad as you think. The mind exaggerates danger because it wants to protect you. Your job is to test those thoughts with reality. Break down the fear into facts. Ask yourself, what is likely versus what is imagined? What is the worst outcome, and how would you handle it? This process reduces the power of fear. It gives you clarity. Clarity makes action easier. Action does not require giant leaps. It can start with small steps. The smallest action is better than the biggest intention. If you want to write a book but fear stops you, write one sentence today. If you want to start exercising but fear of failure holds you back, put on your shoes and walk out the door. If you want to speak up but fear of judgment silences you, say one honest sentence in a meeting. These small moves build momentum. They prove you are stronger than your fear. Fear often feels louder in your mind than in reality. When you take action, you learn that fear's voice is often a lie or a distorted version of truth. You discover that you can handle more than you thought. You gain confidence that silences the next wave of fear. Action builds resilience because it trains your mind and body to respond with effort instead of avoidance. This rewires your nervous system to see challenge as growth instead of threat. Taking action despite fear requires preparation. Preparation is not about eliminating fear, but about creating conditions that support courage. This means breaking your goal into manageable parts. This means practicing skills quietly before showing up publicly. This means building a routine that strengthens your discipline. When you prepare well, you reduce uncertainty. Reduced uncertainty lowers fear. Preparation is a form of respect for yourself and your goal. Sometimes fear convinces you that waiting is safer, waiting for the right moment, the right mood, the right circumstances. But waiting is the enemy of progress. The right moment rarely comes. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will never start. Taking imperfect action today is better than perfect action tomorrow. Imperfection is part of growth. You learn by doing, not by planning forever. The sooner you start, the sooner you improve. Fear can also disguise itself as rational thinking. You might tell yourself, "I'm just being careful," or "I need more information." While caution is wise, it can become an excuse to avoid discomfort. If your rational mind supports action, but your fear mind resists, choose to act anyway. Discipline is stronger than hesitation. Action is the bridge between intention and result. Without it, goals remain dreams. Remember that courage is a muscle that grows with use. The more you face your fear, the easier it becomes to face the next one. Fear will never disappear completely, but your power over it will increase. You will move from reacting to responding, from avoiding to embracing, from doubting to trusting. This shift transforms your whole life because it changes how you engage with challenges. When fear tempts you to stop, think about what is waiting on the other side: growth, opportunity, freedom, fulfillment. These things are worth discomfort. These things are earned through effort. They are gifts for those who act despite fear. The pain of hesitation is greater than the pain of action. The regret of not trying is heavier than the weight of failure. Choose action. Choose courage. Your inner voice is key. Seek to yourself with encouragement when fear rises. Remind yourself of past victories. Remind yourself of your strength. Remind yourself why you started. These words will steady your nerves. They will remind you that fear is temporary, but your growth is lasting. You can trust yourself to move forward. You might stumble. You might fail. That is part of the process. Failure is not a stop sign. It is feedback. It teaches you what to adjust. It makes you wiser and stronger. Every time you act despite fear, you learn how to act better next time. That cycle of action, failure, learning, and retrying is the path to mastery. Taking action despite fear requires commitment. It is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Each day you choose to act, you build your courage reserve. You create a habit of facing what scares you instead of running from it. That habit shapes your character and your future. Your life will never be free from fear, but it can be free from paralysis. You can move forward in the face of fear because you have learned that the only real failure is not trying. You can become someone who acts, who grows, who thrives despite fear's voice. You can become someone who takes 1 hour a day to change their life, one brave step at a time. Chapter 11. Practice gratitude to shift your mood and view. Gratitude is more than a polite habit or a fleeting feeling. It is a powerful practice that rewires your mind to notice what is good in your life, even amid challenges. Most people get caught in a cycle of focusing on what's missing, what's broken, or what's unfair. This habit drains energy and creates a sense of lack, but gratitude shifts your perspective. It invites you to pause and recognize the gifts you already have. This simple shift has the power to brighten your mood, deepen your relationships, and fuel resilience during hard times. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what is real and positive alongside the difficulties. When you train your mind to see what is going well, you create mental balance. You stop spiraling into negativity. You remind yourself that life is complex. There is hardship, but there is also abundance. Gratitude helps you hold both truths at once. This balance is what creates emotional strength. One way to start practicing gratitude is to set aside time each day to reflect on what you appreciate. This can be as simple as listing 3 things you are grateful for before you sleep. These don't need to be grand events. They can be small: a kind word from a friend, a warm cup of coffee, the feel of sunlight on your skin. These moments anchor you in the present and remind you that goodness exists in everyday life. The more you notice these moments, the more you find them. Gratitude changes your brain. Studies show that regular gratitude practice increases activity in areas responsible for positive emotions and decreases activity linked to stress. This means that the act of feeling grateful actually makes you calmer and happier over time. It rewires your response to difficulties. When you start your day with gratitude, you are less likely to get caught up in frustration or anxiety. You face challenges with more patience and clarity. This practice also deepens your connection with others. When you express thanks to people around you, it strengthens bonds and builds trust. Gratitude reminds you that you are not alone in your journey. It encourages humility by showing that your successes are often supported by others. Recognizing the role of others in your life helps you appreciate your relationships more deeply. Strong relationships in turn provide support and motivation for your growth. Gratitude can also help you reframe setbacks. When things go wrong, it's easy to focus on loss or failure. But gratitude encourages you to find lessons or hidden blessings. Maybe a failed project taught you resilience. Maybe a difficult person helped you develop patience. This doesn't erase the pain but adds meaning to it. Meaning reduces suffering because it makes your experience part of a bigger story of growth. To build gratitude into your daily routine, try pairing it with an existing habit. For example, write down what you're grateful for while drinking your morning tea or before brushing your teeth at night. Make it easy to remember. Keep a journal or use a notes app. Some people find it helpful to share gratitude with a friend or family member regularly. Speaking your gratitude out loud makes it more real and contagious. Another way to deepen gratitude is through mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches you to pay full attention to the present moment without judgment. When you are mindful, you notice small things that normally pass by unnoticed. The sound of birds, the texture of your clothes, the rhythm of your breath. These small details become sources of gratitude because you recognize them as part of your life's richness. Mindfulness and gratitude together create a powerful tool to ground your mood. Gratitude also builds resilience because it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. This shift creates hope. Hope fuels action and endurance. When you feel hopeful, you are more likely to keep pushing forward even when obstacles appear. Gratitude reminds you that you have resources, inner and outer, that can support you. This awareness increases your confidence and reduces feelings of helplessness. Even on difficult days, there is always something to be grateful for. Maybe it's the strength that got you through yesterday. Maybe it's a lesson learned the hard way. Maybe it's the opportunity to try again. Gratitude does not demand perfection. It welcomes imperfection, but insists on noticing what is still good. This mindset makes you more adaptable because you are not stuck in blame or despair. You are open to possibilities and solutions. Practicing gratitude daily requires discipline, especially at first. Your mind will resist because it's used to scanning for threats and problems. But persistence builds new mental pathways. Over time, gratitude becomes a natural habit. It becomes your default mode instead of negativity. This change impacts how you experience life on a fundamental level. The ripple effects of gratitude extend beyond your mood. They improve your health, your sleep, your social life, and even your productivity. When you appreciate what you have, you worry less. When you worry less, you sleep better. When you sleep better, you have more energy. When you have more energy, you perform better. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it's a foundation for well-being. In moments when gratitude feels difficult, start small. Focus on your breath, on the roof over your head, on your ability to take a step forward. These small acknowledgements break the cycle of negativity. They remind you that life is still worth living fully. This mindset is not naive. It is realistic and empowering. Your inner dialogue shapes your experience. When you notice complaints or negative thoughts, gently shift them to gratitude. Instead of saying, "I'm stuck," say, "I'm grateful for this chance to pause and think." Instead of "I'm tired," say, "I'm grateful for the rest I will have tonight." These small shifts reprogram your thinking patterns and create a positive feedback loop. Gratitude also invites you to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Each step forward, each effort made, each challenge faced deserves acknowledgement. Recognizing these moments boosts motivation and self-worth. When you track your growth with gratitude, you build a resilient mindset that embraces both success and struggle. Practicing gratitude is an investment in your mental and emotional health. It's a tool you carry with you throughout your life. It prepares you to handle future challenges with grace. It fills your life with meaning beyond external achievement. It grounds you in a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Ultimately, gratitude is about choice. You can choose what to focus on. You can choose how to interpret your experiences. You can choose to see life's gifts, even in hard times. That choice changes your mood, your view, and your life. Make gratitude a daily habit. Make it a habit that lasts a lifetime. The rewards will transform your world from the inside out. Chapter 12. Say no to what does not build your life. Learning to say no is one of the most important skills you can develop to protect your time, energy, and focus. Saying no is not about being rude or selfish. It is about setting boundaries that honor your goals and values. Every yes you give to something that doesn't support your growth is a no to something that could build your life. Your ability to say no determines how much space you create for what truly matters. When you say no to distractions, unhelpful commitments, and toxic influences, you say yes to your future self. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others or missing out. This fear keeps them trapped in overcommitment and burnout. They feel obligated to say yes even when it drains them. But true respect, both for yourself and for others, comes from honesty. When you say no to what does not serve you, you give yourself permission to say yes to your priorities. This creates a foundation for meaningful progress and lasting satisfaction. Saying no begins with clarity. You need to know what builds your life and what doesn't. What are your priorities? What are your goals? What are the habits, relationships, and activities that move you forward? Once you have this clear, you can evaluate every request or opportunity against these standards. If something does not align, it deserves a no. This clarity prevents wasted time and energy on things that do not contribute to your well-being or growth. Saying no also requires courage. It's uncomfortable to disappoint others or risk conflict, but discomfort is temporary. The consequences of not saying no can last for years. Overcommitting leads to stress, fatigue, and resentment. It dilutes your focus and slows your progress. When you practice saying no, you protect your mental and physical health. You reclaim your power to decide how you spend your life. You do not owe anyone an elaborate explanation. A simple no is enough. Politeness and firmness can coexist. You can say, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I have to decline," without feeling guilty. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect. When you respect yourself, others learn to respect you too. Over time, saying no becomes easier and more natural. Saying no also means recognizing your limits. Your time, energy, and attention are finite resources. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Saying no to extra commitments allows you to invest fully in your existing responsibilities and goals. It creates space for rest, creativity, and deeper focus. This balance is essential for sustained growth and happiness. Avoid saying yes out of obligation or fear of missing out. The fear of missing out often leads to overextending yourself. But missing out on something that does not build your life is a gain, not a loss. When you say no to noise, you create room for your own voice to be heard. When you say no to distractions, you make room for clarity. When you say no to chaos, you create space for peace. Practice saying no in small ways first. Decline a social invitation when you need rest. Turn down extra work that doesn't align with your goals. Avoid engaging in negative conversations or gossip. These small acts build confidence. They teach you that saying no is not the end of the world. It's the beginning of self-control. Saying no also protects your emotional health. Toxic people, draining conversations, and unnecessary drama take energy that you need for growth. When you say no to these influences, you create a safe space for your mind and heart. You allow yourself to focus on positive relationships and uplifting environments. This choice fosters resilience and joy. Remember that your yes has value. Every yes should be intentional. When you say yes to something meaningful, you bring your full presence and energy. Saying no to what does not build your life preserves your ability to do this. It's a way of honoring your own journey and the goals you've set. You are worth that respect. Saying no also means learning to pause before agreeing to anything. Take a moment to think. Don't rush into a yes because of pressure or habit. Ask yourself if this will help you grow or drain you. Give yourself permission to delay a response if you need to. This pause prevents impulsive commitments that lead to regret. Sometimes saying no means letting go of long-standing habits or relationships that no longer serve you. This can be painful, but it is necessary. Growth requires space, and space requires letting go. When you release what holds you back, you open room for new opportunities and healthier connections. This process renews your life. Saying no is also a way to protect your focus. Every distraction you refuse strengthens your concentration on what matters. Your focus is your most valuable asset. Without it, progress slows and goals feel distant. By saying no consistently, you guard your focus and increase your effectiveness. You become someone who finishes what they start. It's important to recognize that saying no is a skill that improves with practice. At first, it may feel uncomfortable or even selfish, but as you see the benefits, the calm, the clarity, the growth, you will want to say no more often. Your boundaries become stronger, your confidence grows, your life shifts toward what you truly want. Saying no is not about closing doors forever. It is about choosing which doors to open now. Sometimes you say no today so you can say yes tomorrow to something better. Sometimes you say no to protect your energy for what matters most. This is wisdom, not weakness. It is self-mastery, not avoidance. You are the gatekeeper of your life. You decide what enters and what stays out. Protect your time, your energy, and your dreams by saying no to anything that does not build your life. This simple, powerful act creates space for growth, peace, and fulfillment. When you say no with intention and respect, you say yes to yourself, and that is the foundation of real change. Chapter 13. Create a daily plan and follow it through. A daily plan is more than just a list of tasks. It is a blueprint that guides your day with purpose and intention. Without a plan, your day can slip away, leaving you wondering where the time went and why progress feels slow. Creating a daily plan brings structure to your life. It organizes your priorities and aligns your actions with your goals. Following it through is the discipline that turns intention into accomplishment. This combination is the foundation of steady growth and success. Starting with a clear plan each day gives you direction. It stops you from drifting into distraction or busyness without meaning. When you write down what you want to achieve, you create a contract with yourself. That contract reminds you of what matters most. It keeps your mind focused on the next step instead of being overwhelmed by everything at once. A plan breaks big goals into manageable pieces and makes progress visible. Creating a plan is not about perfection or rigidity. It's about clarity and flexibility. Your plan should reflect your true priorities, not just what seems urgent or easy. Begin by identifying the top 3 to 5 tasks that will move you closer to your larger goals. These are the non-negotiables, the must-do actions that build your future. Putting them on your daily plan ensures they get attention and energy. The power of a daily plan is in its specificity. Instead of vague intentions, like work on project, write spend 30 minutes outlining chapter 1. Clear actions reduce procrastination because they remove uncertainty. You know exactly what to do next. This clarity builds momentum. Every small completed task boosts your confidence and motivation to continue. Time blocking is a useful technique to follow your plan. Assign specific time slots for each task. This helps prevent multitasking and keeps your focus sharp. It also creates a rhythm for your day, balancing work, rest, and other activities. When you respect your time blocks, you show respect for your priorities. You guard against distractions and interruptions that steal your progress. Following through on your plan requires commitment. It means resisting the temptation to jump to easier or more pleasant activities. Discipline is the muscle that grows when you push yourself to stick to your plan. The more you practice this consistency, the stronger your self-control becomes. Over time, following your plan feels less like a chore and more like a habit that serves your growth. Accountability enhances your follow-through. Share your plan or goals with a trusted friend, mentor, or coach. When someone else knows what you intend, you feel more motivated to act. Accountability creates external support that reinforces your internal commitment. It also provides encouragement and feedback that keep you on track. Reflection is a vital part of the planning process. At the end of each day, review what you accomplished and what got in the way. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Notice patterns in distractions or procrastination. Use this insight to adjust your plan for the next day. This cycle of planning, acting, and reflecting builds self-awareness and continuous improvement. Avoid overloading your daily plan. Trying to do too much leads to overwhelm and burnout. Quality matters more than quantity. Focus on a few meaningful actions that push you forward. Completing these tasks with intention is far more valuable than rushing through a long list. Your plan should energize you, not drain you. A daily plan also helps manage unexpected events. When surprises arise, you can adjust your plan without losing sight of your priorities. Flexibility does not mean abandoning your goals. It means responding wisely while keeping your main objectives in view. This balance between structure and adaptability is key to long-term success. Technology can support your planning efforts. Use digital calendars, task apps, or simple notebooks to capture and organize your plan. Choose tools that fit your style and don't overwhelm you. The goal is to make planning easy and accessible. The best plan is one you actually follow. Creating a morning ritual around your daily plan strengthens your focus. Spend a few minutes each morning reviewing your plan and setting your intention. Visualize yourself completing each task with success. This mental preparation prepares your mind to follow through and face challenges calmly. Your daily plan should align with your bigger vision and values. Each task on your list is a stepping stone toward your ideal life. When you connect daily actions to your purpose, motivation flows naturally. This connection makes your plan more meaningful and energizes your effort. Sometimes your plan will not go as expected. You may miss tasks or get sidetracked. This is normal. The important thing is to return to your plan with fresh commitment the next day. Avoid self-judgment or giving up. Persistence is built on patience and forgiveness for yourself. Following your daily plan builds confidence and momentum. Each day you complete your priorities. You prove to yourself that you can achieve what you set out to do. This builds trust in your abilities and creates a positive cycle of action and reward. Confidence fuels more action, and more action creates growth. A daily plan also supports your mental clarity. When your priorities are clear, your mind is less cluttered. You worry less about forgetting tasks or missing deadlines. This mental space allows for creativity and problem solving. It reduces stress and increases your sense of control. Incorporate breaks and rest into your daily plan. Overworking without pause reduces productivity and drains your energy. Schedule time for rest, movement, and reflection. Balanced days sustain your focus and keep your motivation high. Taking care of your well-being is part of following through. Remember that your daily plan is a tool, not a rule. It serves you, not the other way around. Be willing to adjust and learn from each day. The act of planning and following through builds discipline, but also wisdom. Over time you develop intuition about what works best for you. In summary, creating a daily plan organizes your intentions into clear, actionable steps. Following it through with discipline turns goals into reality. This practice builds momentum, focus, and confidence. It reduces stress and creates space for what truly matters. A daily plan transforms scattered effort into purposeful progress. Commit to this habit and watch your life change one day at a time. Chapter 14. Track small wins to build daily self-belief. Small wins are the building blocks of lasting confidence and self-belief. Often, people wait for big achievements to feel successful, but that mindset sets them up for frustration and disappointment. Real growth comes from acknowledging the small steps you take each day. Tracking these wins turns your progress into visible proof of your ability. It shifts your mindset from doubt to certainty and fuels the motivation needed to keep going. Every action you take that moves you closer to your goals, no matter how tiny, deserves recognition. Maybe you woke up earlier than usual. Maybe you finished a task you've been putting off. Maybe you chose to say no to distractions and focus on your priorities. These moments show you that you are capable and committed. When you pay attention to them, your self-image changes from "I can't" to "I'm doing it." Tracking small wins also trains your brain to notice progress rather than setbacks. When you focus only on what you haven't achieved, your mind becomes a breeding ground for negativity and self-doubt. But when you record and celebrate small successes, you create a habit of gratitude and positivity. This habit rewires your brain to expect success, which boosts your confidence naturally. You can track your wins in simple ways. Keep a journal or a digital note where you write down your achievements each day. It can be as brief as one sentence: completed my workout, or stayed focused on my project for 1 hour. The act of writing makes your progress concrete. It turns invisible effort into something real and lasting. Reviewing your list regularly deepens the impact of this practice. When you look back over days or weeks, you see a pattern of consistent effort. This perspective helps you realize how far you've come. It strengthens your belief that change is possible. It reminds you that even on tough days, you are still moving forward. Celebrating small wins is also important. Take a moment to acknowledge your effort and reward yourself appropriately. This doesn't mean indulging in distractions, but choosing something that honors your progress. Maybe it's a short break, a favorite snack, or a kind word to yourself. Celebrations reinforce positive behavior and make the journey enjoyable. Tracking small wins builds momentum. Success breeds success. Each accomplishment, no matter how minor, adds energy to your motivation. It encourages you to keep pushing because you see that your actions produce results. Momentum helps you overcome obstacles and maintain consistency, even when motivation wanes. This practice also reduces the overwhelm that often comes with big goals. Large objectives can feel distant and daunting, but focusing on small wins breaks the journey into manageable pieces. It keeps your attention on what you can do right now, instead of worrying about the entire path. This focus makes progress steady and achievable. Small wins develop resilience as well. When you track your successes, you learn to appreciate effort, not just outcome. Sometimes you face setbacks or failures, but your record of wins reminds you that you have the strength to continue. It shifts your identity from someone who fails to someone who persists. You can enhance this process by setting daily or weekly micro goals. These are specific, achievable targets that fit into your larger vision. Completing these micro goals produces a stream of small wins. This approach builds confidence and keeps you engaged. It creates a sense of accomplishment that fuels further growth. Sharing your small wins with others adds another layer of support. When you tell a friend, mentor, or community about your progress, you receive encouragement and validation. This social reinforcement strengthens your self-belief and keeps you accountable. You become part of a network that celebrates growth together. Tracking small wins also helps identify what strategies work best for you. By observing which actions lead to positive results, you can refine your approach. You learn what energizes you and what drains you. This insight allows you to optimize your efforts for better outcomes. Your journey becomes more efficient and satisfying. This practice counters the all-or-nothing mindset. Instead of believing that only perfect success counts, you recognize the value of every effort. You stop judging yourself harshly for mistakes or slow progress. This shift creates a compassionate inner voice that supports you rather than criticizes. Self-compassion is essential for sustainable growth. Tracking small wins teaches patience and consistency. Change rarely happens overnight. It is the result of many tiny actions over time. When you focus on the small wins, you develop a long-term view. You understand that success is a journey, not a destination. This perspective reduces frustration and builds endurance. Small wins build your identity as a doer. Each win reinforces the belief that you are someone who acts, who follows through, who achieves. This identity shapes your choices and behavior. You begin to see yourself as capable and reliable. This transformation is powerful because it influences every area of your life. In moments of doubt or difficulty, your record of small wins serves as a reminder of your strength. You can look back and see evidence of your progress. This reminder boosts your confidence and helps you push through challenges. It shifts your focus from fear to faith in your ability. Tracking small wins also helps maintain balance. It encourages you to recognize achievements beyond just work or productivity. Wins can be emotional, relational, or health-related. A kind word spoken, a moment of calm, a healthy meal eaten, all are worthy of recognition. This holistic view supports your overall well-being. The practice of tracking small wins becomes a habit that supports lifelong growth. It transforms how you relate to yourself and your goals. It creates a positive feedback loop that fuels motivation, confidence, and resilience. Over time, this habit shapes a life of steady progress and fulfillment. You have the power to change your story by noticing and celebrating your small wins. This simple practice builds a foundation of self-belief that no external circumstance can shake. It equips you to face challenges with courage and keep moving forward with confidence. Track your wins every day and watch your life transform step by step. Chapter 15. Build strong habits by starting with one change. Building strong habits begins with the decision to focus on one small change. Many people feel overwhelmed by the idea of transforming their entire life all at once. They set ambitious goals and try to overhaul everything immediately. This approach often leads to frustration and burnout. Real habit formation is about simplicity and consistency. Choosing one habit to start with allows you to direct your energy fully and create lasting change. Small beginnings have a powerful ripple effect. Starting with one change reduces resistance. When you focus on a single behavior, it feels manageable rather than daunting. Your mind and body can adjust gradually. This lowers the chance of quitting early. The key is to pick a change that is specific and achievable. For example, deciding to drink 1 glass of water every morning or to write for 5 minutes a day. These small actions build a foundation for bigger shifts. Consistency matters more than intensity when forming habits. Doing a small action every day creates neural pathways in your brain that strengthen over time. Repetition rewires your brain to make the new behavior automatic. This means less willpower is required as the habit becomes part of your routine. Focus on showing up daily, even if your effort is minimal. Over time, these moments add up to significant progress. Tracking your habit helps maintain focus and motivation. Use a journal, app, or calendar to mark each day you complete your change. Seeing a visual streak creates positive momentum and accountability. It encourages you not to break the chain. This simple act of tracking builds confidence and reinforces your commitment. Pair your new habit with an existing routine to increase success. This technique, known as habit stacking, leverages your current habits to anchor the new one. For instance, if you want to meditate daily, do it right after brushing your teeth. Linking habits creates a natural trigger that reminds you to act. It reduces the mental effort needed to remember and start. Expect setbacks, but do not let them stop you. Missing a day or two is normal and part of the process. What matters is how you respond. Instead of giving up, recommit immediately. Forgive yourself and focus on moving forward. Resilience is built through persistence, not perfection. Each restart strengthens your habit-building muscles. Understanding the why behind your habit is crucial. When your change aligns with your deeper values and goals, you feel more motivated. Reflect on how this habit will improve your life. Will it boost your health, focus, or happiness? Connecting your habit to a meaningful purpose fuels your desire to maintain it during difficult moments. Simplify your environment to support your new habit. Remove obstacles and add cues that encourage action. If you want to eat healthier, keep nutritious snacks visible and remove junk food. If you want to read more, place your book on your pillow or desk. Designing your surroundings makes habits easier to start and harder to skip. Celebrate small wins along the way. Each time you complete your habit, acknowledge your effort. Positive reinforcement creates pleasure associated with the behavior. This emotional reward makes your brain want to repeat the action. Celebrations don't need to be extravagant. A quiet moment of pride or a small treat works well. As your first habit becomes automatic, consider adding another change. Build habits gradually, one at a time. This layered approach prevents overwhelm and creates a strong foundation. Multiple habits reinforce each other and accelerate your growth. However, avoid rushing. Focus on mastery before adding new challenges. Strong habits provide structure and predictability in your life. They reduce decision fatigue by automating positive actions. This frees mental energy for creativity and problem solving. Habits create momentum that propels you toward your goals without relying solely on motivation. Motivation fluctuates, but habits sustain progress. Be patient with the process. Habit formation takes time and effort. Scientific research shows it can take weeks or months to solidify a behavior. The timeline varies for everyone, depending on the habit and individual factors. Embrace the journey without rushing or expecting instant results. Consistency over time produces lasting change. Pay attention to your internal dialogue during habit formation. Negative self-talk can undermine your efforts. Replace doubts with encouragement and belief in your ability to grow. Remind yourself that small steps lead to big outcomes. This mindset supports perseverance and resilience. Strong habits build your identity. When you repeatedly act in alignment with your goals, you begin to see yourself differently. You shift from thinking "I want to change" to "I am someone who takes care of myself." This identity shift is the deepest form of change because it influences all areas of your life. You become the person who lives the life you desire. Track your progress beyond just days completed. Notice how the habit impacts your energy, mood, and confidence. Reflect on improvements and challenges. Use this insight to adjust your approach and stay engaged. Awareness keeps your habit relevant and sustainable. Avoid the trap of willpower alone. Relying solely on motivation and determination leads to exhaustion. Instead, design your habits around systems that make the behavior easy and natural. This includes environment, triggers, rewards, and mindset. Systems create consistency even when willpower wanes. Share your habit goals with supportive people. Community and encouragement boost accountability and enjoyment. Talking about your changes also reinforces your commitment. Positive social pressure helps maintain your focus and enthusiasm. In moments of doubt or difficulty, remind yourself why you started. Recall the benefits and how far you have come. This reflection renews your motivation and resolve. Challenges are part of growth, not a reason to quit. Building strong habits by starting with one change transforms your life step by step. It creates a reliable foundation for ongoing improvement. The power of focus, consistency, and patience turns small actions into lifelong strengths. Commit to your first change today and build the life you want through steady, intentional habit formation. Chapter 16. Let go of excuses and take full control. Excuses are the invisible chains that hold you back from reaching your full potential. They mask fear, discomfort, and uncertainty, making it easier to avoid responsibility. Letting go of excuses is the first and most powerful step toward taking full control of your life. Excuses create illusions of helplessness, but freedom begins when you recognize that your choices shape your reality. Owning your decisions gives you the power to change your story. Excuses often come from a place of self-protection. They shield you from criticism, failure, and disappointment. However, this protection is temporary and costly. Every excuse weakens your confidence and delays progress. When you stop making excuses, you confront the truth of your situation. This honest confrontation is uncomfortable, but necessary. It clears the fog that hides your path and reveals where your real power lies. Taking full control means accepting responsibility for your actions, thoughts, and feelings. It means recognizing that no one else is responsible for your happiness, success, or growth. This mindset shifts you from victim to creator. When you embrace responsibility, you reclaim your freedom. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or past mistakes. Instead, you focus on what you can do now to improve. Excuses distort your perception of reality. They convince you that external factors are stronger than your will. This belief limits your possibilities and keeps you stuck. Reality is neutral. It does not control you unless you allow it. You have the ability to respond differently to challenges. Choosing action over excuses strengthens your resilience and expands your options. Identify the excuses you tell yourself most often. Common excuses include lack of time, resources, knowledge, or energy. These may seem valid, but they often hide deeper fears or limiting beliefs. For example, "I don't have time" may mask fear of failure or discomfort. By naming your excuses, you gain clarity and can challenge their validity. Question whether these reasons are facts or stories you tell yourself. Replace excuses with empowering statements. When you catch yourself making an excuse, pause and reframe. For example, change "I'm too tired" to "I will start with a small step and see how I feel." This shift moves you from paralysis to action. Empowering naturals rewires your mindset and builds courage. It encourages experimentation and learning instead of avoidance. Set clear goals and commit to them fully. Goals give your actions direction and meaning. When you have a purpose, excuses lose their power. You focus on solutions rather than obstacles. Commitment means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means pushing through discomfort and uncertainty because your goal matters more than temporary feelings. Create a plan that breaks your goals into actionable steps. A clear plan reduces overwhelm and makes progress tangible. When your next step is clear, excuses have fewer openings. You know exactly what to do and can measure your progress. This clarity fuels motivation and confidence. Surround yourself with people who hold you accountable. Supportive friends, mentors, or groups challenge your excuses and encourage your growth. Accountability partners remind you of your commitments and push you beyond comfort zones. Positive social pressure strengthens your discipline and focus. Practice self-discipline daily. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It requires making choices aligned with your values and priorities, even when it's difficult. Discipline grows through repeated actions. Each time you choose to act instead of excuse, you build mental strength. This strength creates momentum that carries you forward. Accept that setbacks are part of the process. Excuses often arise after failure or disappointment. Instead of retreating into excuses, analyze what went wrong and learn from it. Adjust your approach and try again with renewed determination. Resilience comes from facing challenges honestly and refusing to give up. Reflect regularly on your progress and mindset. Journaling or meditation can help you notice when excuses creep in. Awareness is the key to change. When you see patterns of avoidance or self-sabotage, you can intervene and choose differently. Reflection keeps you honest and aligned with your goals. Letting go of excuses means embracing discomfort. Growth requires stepping into the unknown and facing fears. Discomfort signals that you are stretching beyond old limits. Rather than avoiding it, lean into it. Each uncomfortable moment builds confidence and expands your capacity. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Recognize when you act despite excuses. These moments prove your ability to take control. Celebrations reinforce positive habits and create emotional rewards. Positive reinforcement motivates you to keep moving forward. Visualize the person you want to become, someone who takes full responsibility and acts with integrity. Use this vision to inspire your daily choices. When your actions align with your ideal self, excuses lose their grip. You begin to live authentically and with purpose. Remember that letting go of excuses is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice. Old habits of avoidance may resurface, but each time you choose action, you weaken their hold. Your commitment to growth strengthens with every challenge overcome. You have the power to change your life by choosing control over excuses. This choice is yours every moment. No external condition can force you into excuses unless you allow it. Freedom comes from owning your decisions and their consequences. It is a courageous and liberating path. Taking full control transforms your mindset and behavior. You become proactive rather than reactive. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating your reality. This shift opens doors to new opportunities and deeper satisfaction. Excuses limit your potential by keeping you small. Letting them go expands your vision and capability. You step into your role as the architect of your life. This empowerment fuels action, persistence, and growth. Every time you resist an excuse, you practice freedom. You choose effort over ease and progress over comfort. This daily commitment shapes your character and future. Over time, it becomes a natural way of living. Choose today to release excuses and embrace full control. This decision unlocks your ability to grow, succeed, and live meaningfully. Your life changes when you stop blaming and start acting. The path to transformation begins with the simple act of owning your power. Chapter 17. Face one hard truth and grow from it. Facing a hard truth is never easy. It demands courage because it challenges the stories we tell ourselves and the comfort zones we cling to. However, growth begins when we stop avoiding reality and look squarely at what is true, even when it hurts. A single hard truth can unlock new levels of understanding and transformation. It frees you from illusions and invites clarity. The process of facing difficult realities reshapes your mindset, behavior, and ultimately, your life. Hard truths often expose areas where we have fallen short, made mistakes, or missed opportunities. They reveal patterns of behavior that no longer serve us. This can feel like a personal attack, but it is actually an act of kindness. By recognizing these truths, you gain the power to change what has held you back. Ignoring or denying these facts only prolongs suffering and stagnation. Acknowledging a hard truth requires honesty with yourself. It means dropping excuses, blame, and denial. This kind of brutal honesty can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it creates space for real change. When you admit where you've been wrong or where growth is needed, you remove the barriers to progress. Truth is the foundation on which you can rebuild stronger habits, beliefs, and choices. Growth comes from the lessons embedded in hard truth. Every truth carries insight if you are willing to listen. For example, recognizing a tendency to procrastinate reveals the need for better discipline or motivation. Admitting a lack of skills points to the opportunity for learning and development. Facing relationship challenges uncovers the need for communication or boundaries. These insights guide your next steps toward improvement. The process of facing hard truths requires emotional resilience. It is natural to feel discomfort, shame, or fear when confronting reality. Instead of pushing these feelings away, allow yourself to experience them fully. Emotions are signals that highlight areas needing attention. Working through these feelings builds strength and self-awareness. This emotional work deepens your understanding of yourself and your situation. Once you face a hard truth, take responsibility for your part. Growth is not about blaming others or circumstances. It is about recognizing what you can control and how you can act differently. Responsibility empowers you to be proactive rather than reactive. It turns challenges into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. Action is essential after acknowledging a hard truth. Reflection alone is not enough. Identify concrete steps you can take to address the truth and improve your situation. This might involve changing behaviors, seeking support, acquiring new skills, or setting boundaries. Taking action turns awareness into transformation. Facing one hard truth at a time makes the process manageable. Trying to confront everything at once can overwhelm and discourage you. Select the truth that feels most urgent or impactful. Focus your energy on understanding and acting on this truth fully. As you grow from one truth, you build confidence and readiness to face others. Cultivate a mindset of growth and curiosity when facing hard truths. Rather than viewing them as failures or punishment, see them as opportunities to learn and evolve. This perspective reduces resistance and fear. It opens you to experimentation, adjustment, and discovery. A growth mindset transforms challenges into stepping stones. Seek support if needed. Facing difficult truths can be isolating or daunting. Talking to a trusted friend, mentor, or counselor provides perspective and encouragement. Others can offer wisdom, challenge your blind spots, and hold you accountable. Support strengthens your resolve and helps you stay committed to growth. Practice self-compassion throughout the process. It is common to feel harsh judgment toward yourself when facing tough realities. Instead of criticism, offer kindness and understanding. Recognize that everyone has flaws and struggles. Self-compassion creates a safe inner environment for change. It prevents discouragement and burnout. Celebrate the courage it takes to face hard truths. This act alone is a victory, because it breaks the cycle of avoidance. Each truth faced is a step toward greater freedom and authenticity. Acknowledge your bravery and commitment to living honestly. Use journaling or meditation to deepen your engagement with hard truths. Writing helps clarify your thoughts and emotions. Meditation cultivates presence and acceptance. These practices enhance your insight and calm your mind during challenging moments. Remember that growth is a journey, not a one-time event. Facing hard truths is an ongoing process. Life will present new challenges and realities that require your attention. Your willingness to face these truths with openness and courage determines your resilience and success. Integrate the lessons learned from hard truths into your daily life. Let them shape your decisions, habits, and relationships. Growth becomes visible when your actions align with the wisdom gained. This integration creates lasting change rather than temporary insight. When you face a hard truth, you reclaim power over your life. You stop running from reality and start engaging with it. This engagement builds confidence and clarity. It allows you to create a future based on truth rather than illusion. Facing a hard truth often clears confusion and doubt. It removes excuses and distractions that drain your energy. You gain focus and direction. This clarity empowers you to prioritize what matters most and take decisive steps. Be patient with yourself as you navigate this process. Growth through hard truths takes time and effort. There will be setbacks and moments of discomfort. Trust that each step forward is progress. Your persistence shapes your transformation. Ultimately, growth comes from embracing reality fully. Hard truths are gifts that guide you toward greater wisdom and strength. By facing one hard truth and learning from it, you create a foundation for continuous self-improvement. This foundation supports a life of authenticity, resilience, and fulfillment. Chapter 18. Connect with people who push you forward. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your growth and success. Connecting with individuals who challenge you to improve and support your goals creates an environment where progress is natural. These connections push you beyond your comfort zone and inspire you to become better. The right people motivate you to keep moving forward, hold you accountable, and offer valuable perspectives. Building relationships with those who uplift and challenge you is essential for lasting transformation. When you connect with people who push you forward, you enter a dynamic of mutual growth. These individuals believe in your potential and encourage you to stretch beyond what feels easy or familiar. Their presence energizes you and expands your view of what's possible. You learn from their habits, mindset, and experiences. This influence accelerates your personal and professional development in ways you might not achieve alone. Such connections are rooted in authenticity and shared values. Surround yourself with those who genuinely care about your success and well-being. Their encouragement is sincere, not competitive or judgmental. This trust allows honest feedback and constructive criticism. Being open to this input fosters self-awareness and continuous improvement. When you know someone wants the best for you, you are more willing to listen and grow. Accountability plays a vital role in these relationships. People who push you forward hold you responsible for your commitments and progress. They remind you of your goals when you waver and challenge excuses. This external accountability strengthens your internal discipline. Knowing someone is watching and believing in your success increases your motivation and follow-through. Seek out communities or groups aligned with your aspiration. Whether it's a professional network, a fitness group, or a book club, being part of a collective effort provides support and inspiration. Shared goals create camaraderie and a sense of belonging. You draw strength from collective energy and shared struggle. Group environments foster learning, encouragement, and healthy competition. Learn to identify people who drain your energy or discourage growth. These relationships can be subtle obstacles disguised as friendship or loyalty. They may criticize without offering solutions or avoid discussing growth altogether. Recognizing these dynamics helps you protect your time and focus. Choosing who to invest your energy in is a form of self-respect and strategic growth. Building connections with inspiring people requires initiative. Seek opportunities to meet new individuals who embody qualities you admire. Attend workshops, seminars, or social events related to your goals. Approach these encounters with openness and curiosity. Meaningful relationships develop from genuine interest and mutual respect, not forced networking. Once you connect with motivating individuals, nurture the relationship. Regular communication, support, and shared activities deepen bonds. Celebrate their successes and share your own. Strong connections grow through reciprocity and consistent effort. These relationships become a source of strength and inspiration over time. Mentorship is a powerful form of connection that pushes you forward. A mentor offers guidance, wisdom, and perspective gained from experience. They challenge your thinking, encourage new approaches, and help you avoid common pitfalls. Finding a mentor requires humility and willingness to learn. Their support can accelerate your progress significantly. Equally important is being a positive influence on others. When you push yourself forward, you inspire those around you. Offering encouragement, feedback, and support creates a culture of growth. This reciprocal dynamic enriches your relationships and reinforces your commitment to improvement. Growth thrives in communities where people uplift each other. Healthy relationships also provide emotional support during setbacks. Challenges and failures are inevitable, but the right people help you navigate these times with resilience. They remind you of your strengths and potential. This support prevents discouragement and keeps you moving forward with renewed determination. Cultivating connections with growth-minded individuals expands your opportunities. These relationships often lead to collaborations, new ideas, and access to resources. They open doors that would remain closed if you isolate yourself. Network with the right people multiplies your impact and possibilities. Practice gratitude for those who push you forward. Acknowledge their influence and express appreciation. Gratitude strengthens bonds and encourages ongoing support. Recognizing the role others play in your growth builds humility and connection. Maintain boundaries to protect your focus and energy. Not every relationship will contribute to your progress, and that's okay. Saying no to distractions and negative influences preserves your momentum. Prioritize connections that align with your values and goals. Continuous growth depends on the quality of your relationships. Surrounding yourself with people who push you forward creates a fertile environment for transformation. Their energy, support, and challenge inspire you to be your best self. Invest in these connections intentionally and watch your life change through the power of community. Remember that your growth also inspires others. By connecting with people who push you forward, you become part of a positive cycle. Together, you elevate each other, creating ripple effects that extend beyond individual success. This collective growth enriches your life and the lives of those around you. Building and maintaining these relationships requires time, patience, and authenticity. It's not about quantity but quality. Deep connections fuel lasting change and provide the foundation for continuous improvement. When you commit to connecting with the right people, you build a support system that propels you toward your goals and beyond. Chapter 19. Rest your mind daily and guard your energy. Your mind is the most valuable tool you have, yet it often endures relentless pressure without proper rest. In a world that glorifies constant activity and productivity, resting your mind daily is not a luxury, but a necessity. Guarding your energy means recognizing its limits and choosing how to invest it wisely. Without mental rest, focus diminishes, creativity suffers, and resilience weakens. Prioritizing daily rest recharges your mental capacity and sharpens your clarity. Resting your mind is more than just stopping work. It requires intentional practices that quiet the constant stream of thoughts and demands. This might include meditation, deep breathing, or simply sitting in silence. These moments allow your brain to slow down and reset. When you cultivate mental stillness, your ability to process information and make decisions improves. Rest also reduces stress hormones, helping your body and mind recover from daily strain. Guarding your energy involves being selective about what occupies your thoughts and time. Not all activities or people deserve your mental focus. Learning to say no to distractions preserves your capacity for what truly matters. Energy spent on negativity, excessive stimulation, or unnecessary worries depletes your reserves. Protecting your mental energy means setting boundaries around your environment and interactions. Technology can be a major drain on your mental resources. Constant notifications, social media, and endless information overload overwhelm your brain. Designate specific times to disconnect and unplug. Create tech-free zones or periods in your day to let your mind rest. These breaks prevent burnout and help you regain concentration. Sleep is fundamental for mental rest and energy restoration. Quality sleep supports memory, emotional regulation, and cognitive function. Establish consistent sleep routines that promote deep, uninterrupted rest. Avoid caffeine and screens before bedtime to enhance sleep quality. Prioritizing sleep ensures your mind is prepared to face challenges with vitality. Engaging in activities that bring joy and relaxation also supports mental rest. Reading, gentle walks, creative hobbies, or listening to calming music soothe your mind. These practices reduce tension and replenish your mental energy. Regularly incorporating joyful moments balances the demands of work and responsibility. Mindful awareness helps you notice when your mental energy is low. Pay attention to signs like irritability, difficulty concentrating, or feeling overwhelmed. These signals indicate the need for rest. Respond promptly by pausing and engaging in restorative practices. Ignoring these signs leads to exhaustion and impaired performance. Simplifying your commitments reduces mental clutter. Overloading your schedule fragments attention and drains energy. Focus on fewer, meaningful tasks that align with your goals. Streamlining your responsibilities creates space for mental rest and deeper focus on priorities. Healthy nutrition supports brain function and energy levels. Eating balanced meals, rich in vitamins, minerals, and hydration fuels your cognitive abilities. Avoid excessive sugar and processed foods that cause energy crashes. Nourishing your body sustains mental stamina throughout the day. Physical exercise also benefits mental energy. Movement increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain, enhancing alertness and mood. Even light activity like stretching or walking helps clear mental fatigue. Incorporate daily movement to support both mind and body. Journaling can serve as a mental release, clearing cluttered thoughts and emotions. Writing down worries, ideas, or gratitude reduces mental noise and promotes clarity. This practice organizes your mind and prepares it for rest. Setting intentions for your mental rest times increases their effectiveness. Decide what practice will help you recharge, whether meditation, breathing exercises, or quiet reflection. Having a plan prevents aimless breaks and maximizes restoration. Guarding your energy extends to emotional boundaries. Protect yourself from toxic relationships or draining interactions. Limit exposure to negativity that saps your mental strength. Surround yourself with positivity that uplifts and energizes. Regular mental rest boosts creativity and problem-solving abilities. When your mind is refreshed, it makes new connections and sees solutions more clearly. This enhances productivity and innovation in your work and life. Practice patience with yourself as you learn to rest and guard your energy. It takes time to build new habits and recognize your limits. Consistency in these practices leads to sustainable mental strength and well-being. Understand that resting your mind is not a sign of weakness, but a strategic choice. It empowers you to perform at your best and maintain balance. Recharging allows you to face challenges with calmness and clarity. By valuing mental rest and protecting your energy, you create a foundation for resilience and growth. Your mind becomes a source of strength rather than fatigue. This commitment enriches every area of your life. Daily mental rest and energy protection transform how you experience each day. You move from exhaustion to vitality, from distraction to focus. This shift enables you to live with greater intention and effectiveness. Invest in yourself by making mental rest a non-negotiable part of your routine. Guard your energy fiercely and choose replenishment over depletion. This dedication honors your mind's power and your potential to thrive. Chapter 20. Choose 1 hour daily to become your best. Choosing 1 hour every day to focus solely on becoming your best self is a decision that can transform your life in profound ways. This hour is a commitment to invest in yourself, to prioritize growth above distractions, and to consistently move forward regardless of circumstances. Many people underestimate the power of a single hour, but that focused time accumulates rapidly, creating momentum that leads to lasting change. This daily dedication is a practical and achievable strategy to build skills, habits, and mindsets that elevate your entire life. The first step is to claim that hour without negotiation or compromise. Treat this time as non-negotiable, just like a work meeting or an important appointment. Setting this boundary signals to yourself and others that your growth is a serious priority. Protect this hour from interruptions by turning off notifications, informing others of your unavailability, and creating an environment conducive to focus. This act of protecting your time shows respect for your own goals and creates the space needed for meaningful progress. During this hour, engage in activities aligned with your personal development goals. This could include reading books that inspire and educate, practicing skills related to your career or passions, journaling to clarify your thoughts, meditating to build mental resilience, or exercising to strengthen your body. The key is to choose purposeful actions that contribute to your overall well-being and success. By consistently spending this time on meaningful pursuits, you build a strong foundation for your future. Consistency in this practice is crucial. It is not about intense effort sporadically, but steady progress over time. When you commit to this hour daily, you create a rhythm of growth that becomes part of your identity. Small improvements compound and eventually produce significant transformation. This daily habit trains your discipline, reinforces your focus, and builds your confidence. It also cultivates patience, reminding you that change unfolds gradually and requires persistence. Choosing 1 hour to become your best requires clarity on what best means to you. Define your vision and values clearly so that your efforts align with your true purpose. Without this clarity, your time may be wasted on distractions or activities that do not serve your long-term goals. Reflect on what success looks like in your life, whether it involves health, relationships, career, creativity, or mindset, and tailor your daily hour to advance in those areas. Using this hour as a form of self-investment shifts your mindset from reacting to life's demands to proactively shaping your future. This intentional use of time empowers you to take control and avoid feeling overwhelmed by circumstances. It fosters a sense of agency and responsibility that permeates other aspects of your life. As a result, you approach challenges with greater resilience and confidence. Breaking this hour into focused segments can enhance productivity. For example, spend 20 minutes on reading, 20 minutes on skill practice, and 20 minutes on reflection or planning. This variety keeps the session engaging and addresses multiple dimensions of growth. Adjust the structure based on your priorities and energy levels to maintain enthusiasm and effectiveness. Accountability mechanisms support the success of this daily hour. Share your commitment with a friend, mentor, or community that encourages growth. Tracking your progress through journals or apps provides tangible evidence of your efforts. These practices increase motivation and help you stay on course when distractions or doubts arise. Recognize the emotional impact of dedicating this hour to yourself. It fosters self-worth and demonstrates that your goals matter. This recognition combats self-neglect and builds a positive relationship with yourself. Over time, this emotional reinforcement strengthens your commitment and deepens your sense of purpose. Allow flexibility when needed, without abandoning the commitment. Life will present interruptions or unexpected demands. Adapt by rescheduling or shortening the hour, but avoid skipping it altogether. Flexibility paired with consistency ensures sustainability and prevents burnout or discouragement. The benefits of this daily hour extend beyond the immediate. As you improve skills, knowledge, and mindset, you naturally influence other areas of your life. Relationships become richer, work performance improves, and your overall satisfaction increases. This ripple effect underscores the value of dedicating focused time to self-improvement. This hour is also a powerful antidote to procrastination and overwhelm. By focusing on a manageable time frame, the task of growth feels achievable. It reduces the mental barrier of needing large blocks of time and encourages starting small. The momentum gained in this hour often carries into other parts of the day, enhancing overall productivity. Reflect periodically on how this daily hour impacts your life. Celebrate milestones and lessons learned. Use these reflections to adjust your approach, deepen your commitment, and stay aligned with your evolving goals. Reflection transforms routine into meaningful progress and keeps you engaged in the journey. Choosing this hour is an act of self-respect and vision. It shows that you value your potential and are willing to invest in it consistently. This choice strengthens your character, sharpens your focus, and builds resilience. It transforms aspirations into reality through deliberate action. The transformation that occurs through this daily commitment reveals itself in patience, persistence, and progress. You become someone who does not wait for perfect conditions, but creates growth through steady effort. This quality permeates your attitude and actions, influencing how you face life's challenges. Commit to choosing 1 hour every day to become your best and honor this time as sacred. This dedication changes how you relate to yourself and the world. It creates a foundation for lifelong growth and fulfillment. The power of this hour lies not in its length, but in your unwavering commitment to it. In this daily hour, you are investing in the most important project, yourself. This investment yields returns in confidence, skill, and well-being that no external source can provide. It is a gift that keeps giving, enriching your life and the lives of those around you. Make this hour your priority starting today, and watch how small daily efforts accumulate into remarkable transformation. This simple yet profound choice reshapes your life with clarity, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. Your best self is waiting to be revealed, 1 hour at a time, 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 1 hour at a time.